Why, hello there, I'm Professor Joel, and welcome to another episode of Planet Scooby Reviews, and today we are covering the Ransom of Scooby Chief, and this is the final episode of Season 1 of Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, and it originally aired on January 5th, 1980. So here we see the gang visiting New York, where Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy take the lead. They are only dropped off by Freddy, Daphne, and Velma. We see some quick glimpses, and then they're picked up at the end. Remember when Stranger Things Season 2... they had that episode with Seven, the girl with the telekinetic powers and the kind of like the shaved head, where they had an episode with her where she meets up with people who are gifted like her, other kids, and they just had that weird episode. This is what this episode basically is. They call something like that a soft pilot, and I think what the writers were toying with was just having an episode that focused maybe on Scrappy-Doo with his puppy pals and maybe have it spin off from Scooby-Doo. I think that's what the intent was with this. That's just pure guessery on my part. I haven't read anything about the historical value of this, but this episode definitely feels like that episode of Stranger Things because it's mostly Scrappy running around New York with his puppy friends. And I kind of wish they did take that direction because I would have loved Scooby-Doo to continue with the mystery theme instead of the silly shorts, but no, as we know with history, it didn't spin off with this. I think an episode or a series with Scrappy and his puppy pals would have been amazing. I'd like to see maybe the Scrappy be returned maybe in that regard. Maybe not have him actually introduced into Scooby-Doo, but have his own series now in modern times with his puppies. I think that would be like a cool angle. Unfortunately, like I said, that never happened. And we don't get Freddy and Velma in their adult lead roles. And I stress adult and lead roles because I know they make cameos until Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, like 18 years later. So this is a bit of a depressing episode for me. Like I said, yes, I know they have cameos. I know there's a pup named Scooby-Doo, but they're not adults. They're not really doing grown-up mysteries. They're doing pre-tween or tween episodes. They're not even teen. I think they're kids. They're like in grade school. So yeah, we don't even get them as teens. We get them preteen doing roles. And I miss those Scooby-Doo mysteries. And of course, since 1998, the gang's back in the original form. And we've had decades of that since. Anyway, I'm jibber jabbering. So let me get on with the review. The episode begins with a gang in New York City where Scrappy is meeting up with his old neighborhood gang. We briefly see Daphne, Velma, and Freddy before they leave Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy in the streets.
Here we are, guys. New York City.
Oh, boy. New York. My old neighborhood. My old gang.
We'll be back to pick you up later. Have a good visit.
Is that who I think it is, Tony?
Scooby-Doo. Do you really think so, Carl?
Tony and Carl, who are two mean crooks, recognize Scooby-Doo and plan to kidnap him.
I'm not kidding, Duke. My Uncle Scooby is 1 in a zillion.
That's him, all right. You heard what they said. Famous, terrific, 1 in a zillion. Scooby-Doo is our key to a fortune.
Meanwhile, Scrappy hooks up with Annie and Duke, two of his old buddies.
Scrappy! Duke, my old buddy.
Hey, Scrappy!
You wouldn't believe what I've been doing since I left the neighborhood. I've been splatting ghosts and monsters left and right.
It's really good to have you back, Scrappy.
The old neighborhood's been kind of quiet without you.
No, Scrappy, your uncle's okay. But that skinny guy, he's a little weird.
The criminals nab Scooby in the back of their truck, and Shaggy runs after the truck to save him. Shaggy also calls out for help and is able to jump in the back of the truck, leaving it so that the rest of the episode is basically Scrappy tracking down the truck.
Now let's get out of here.
Scrappy, Duke, Annie, we need help. I'm coming, Scoob.
Scrappy's first instinct is to run after the truck, but Duke explains they need to look for clues. Annie finds a sign for the Paris warehouse, so all three dogs run off to find Scrappy's Uncle Scooby.
Listen, trust me. Gotta think this through. We need some sort of clue. Something that'll give us an idea where those hoods took your friends. Made in Japan.
Harris Warehouse.
Wait a minute. I know that place, and it's right here in New York. Just a subway right away.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's go give those Uncle Nappers a splat!
Scooby and Scrappy, meanwhile, make multiple attempts to escape the Paris warehouse, but are foiled at every attempt. The crooks eventually transport them to a boat, and Scrappy and the other two pups follow the truck to the docks. After lots of traps, chases, and hijinks, the crooks are eventually caught, and the crooks are sent off to jail.
I'll just use my feminine wiles and ask the sailor over here.
And that'll be $1 million for the mutt. Huh? Hey, come on, this is Scooby-Doo we're talking about.
Daphne, Freddy, and Velma then pick up Shaggy, Scrappy, and Scooby, and this is the last adventure the original five will have for many years to come.
Come on, guys.
How bad could it be?
I give this episode a 5.5 out of 10. This one, it's not bad. I don't hate it. I just don't think it's an awesome episode. For one, this is the very first episode, I think, that did not have a supernatural angle. We just get bad guys. Just random, run-of-the-mill bad guys that we'll never see again. Of course, we never see the supernatural villains really much either, unless there's a quick cameo in a movie or whatnot later on, like the Cyber Chase and other episodes. But I digress. This one, there's a bit of charm to it. I like Scrappy running around with his puppy pals, but this isn't really a Scooby-Doo episode other than the chase scenes, right? There's not much that makes this Scooby-Doo to me. There's no mystery, and I can appreciate them going down a different path with this one. But watching this now, I didn't like it. Maybe when I was a kid, if I was 10 and I saw this, I'd go, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Maybe. I probably did do that because I was watching Scooby-Doo at age 10, but I have no memory, no recollection of this episode at all 40 years later. Anyway, if you love Scrappy unconditionally, you will like this one quite a bit. He gets a lot of screen time. And his puppy pals ain't all that bad either. They have plenty of personality. Well, that wraps up my review of Season 1 of Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. I want to thank you again for any likes, views, subscribes, shares, and comments. It means the world to me. I keep saying that every episode, and I mean it. It's without you, I wouldn't be making these episodes, or I might still be, because I do enjoy it. But I'm definitely motivated to spend the amount of time it takes to get these episodes out. So thank you very much. Next week, I will be doing my ranking episodes from favorite to least favorite. Spoilers, this was my least favorite. Anyway, until next week, stay spooky.